Hello and welcome back to yet another tutorial. And this time we will look at some actual gameplay examples to learn some of the basic rules of the game. I'm not going to play this scenario until the end. I'm just going to play it until we have gotten a good grasp of the basics. So I have created a general with a number of traits: Infantry, Panzer General, Deadly Grasp, Flexible Command, Anti-Air Veteran, Inefficient Supply, Perimeter Control, and slow Modernization. It's just for to be able to make some examples. So, first of all, we will start by upgrading some units. I will start by over-strengthening this to, I think, 13, that's just one slot, I can afford that. I am going to be disbanding this tank. I don't feel I need 3 tanks. I will upgrade this tank to get another, and I will make it and see I can do this very cheaply. Just one slot. This is thanks to my Panzer General trait. Impressed? Then I will pick this one up. And I will put him down here instead. Next out I will see if I can afford this. Oh, this is expensive. Look, that is the main problem. It is not that I don't have the slots, it's the price. But fortunately I don't feel that I need this big air force, so I'm just going to scratch the entire thing for the time being, at least. And I will upgrade this gun, and I could consider over-strengthening it, but it eats a lot of slots, and I think I will just stick with it there. I'm picking it up, putting it here, I think. I think I want my recon car on the front lines. Now let's shuffle stuff around a bit. There. This is a better starting position, I think. And now I still have a lot of slots left. And I will continue by upgrading this to a useful piece of artillery. And now you can see my prestige level is starting to sink. And I could maybe get one of my favorite units, but you see it is much too expensive, unfortunately. And then I could maybe take one of these guys, but I don't think I can afford it. The question is, do I need, how many tanks do I really need in this scenario? Do I really need 3 tanks? Maybe, maybe not. But let's reverse some of the changes I already did. We can get one fighter, but I will make it slightly overstrength. We can use the basket function. And I will pick up one of these guys, and you can see it is almost no cost, and I can get me one of those storks, adding to basket. And this I can afford. I've used all my slots. I still have some points left, so the question is, can I? No. I have upgraded too many units already. See, I have that slow modernization trait, so I can't upgrade anymore. This is actually sort of a micro bug, because normally you can over-strengthen your units, but because I have upgraded too many units, I can't do that. So, but it is good. We will just have to deploy these planes before we go on. Oops. Okay. And deployment. So, The obvious thing we want to do here is have a look around, see if anything is lurking out there, so to speak. So I will start by using my splitter, and I will split my plane. I will move one plane on top of this infantry just to have a look around. So there's a cavalry unit, and this I won't put on top of this because I want to have a look here. Okay, so we have a recon car down here. So this is just one single core slot. I get to see this huge area, and this also now is providing an accuracy bonus to anything beneath it. So then I will split this unit, and I will drive it over here, and the other one will drive over here. So now if this artillery piece decides to fire here, now it gets a recon bonus both for the plane and the guy on the ground. So that is 20% extra accuracy. So now that artillery piece has 70 instead of 50 accuracy. Fire. And you can see I killed one, but I also suppressed 4. Take note that it is possible to suppress and then also kill the same strength point in this game. So it's not automatically if you well, that was a bit hard to explain, but we'll see more about that later when we fire more on people in a more defensive position. So that was a decent start, and we can do the same here. Same result, and then we hit the L button. It's not listed with any button here, but this is the combat log. So here you can learn quite a bit about the game. This was my first shot, remember? And here the range was 3. Defender cannot retaliate, so initiative is skipped. And the base number is 10. And the effective number, because I have no suppression, is 10. Base accuracy is 50. And the bonus from recons and recon planes is just 12. I'm not sure why it's not higher. Maybe there is more to that formula than I knew. Otherwise, we have discovered a small bug. I was sure it was 10% per unit, but maybe the bonus is reduced when there is 2, so it doesn't fully stack. Okay, that 62% is better than 50. And here is the attack and defense, and yes, and then we get the chance of either miss or suppress or kill. And of course the reason why it's like this is because artillery has a suppressing fire trait, so it only does 20% lethal damage. And here are the rolls. So the real result is 0 killed, 3 suppressed. The prediction is 1 killed, 5 suppressed. And this is to remember from my first tutorial, the randomness factor. And then it averages the result of real and predicted. So it becomes 1 killed, 4 suppressed. And we can go through the same procedure here. So the recon plane gives me a 7% bonus, not a 10%. Okay, maybe they just need to update their stuff a bit. No, that was a recon car, yes. Okay, so the anti-tank gun had a bit of entrenchment, so that reduced my my accuracy a bit, but ended up with 50, and that was 18 versus 10. So again, artillery and random number generator, and this is the real and this is the predicted, and again the randomness setting, so it's an average of the real rolled result and the predicted result. And the game remembers this stuff, and you can just click through all the game logs. You can close this. This is hotkey L. You can also define another hotkey in the settings menu. it's very handy for learning why stuff happens. Because this can't really be covered fully in manuals and stuff like that. So this is my infantry. I could move it straight over here, but I would rather like to push it upwards, so I will use my force march ability and I will move over here. And you can see the prediction here is that it will do some suppression to me, but not a full kill, and I will do 3 damage to it. Now the question is, am I satisfied with those results, or do I want to maybe use a plane? So I decide to use my plane here, and it's fairly effective against this guy. So now I have even better odds, and I will attack it again. It did nothing. It shot first because it had higher initiative. And let's look at the combat logs again. The defender can't retaliate, and it got some recon bonuses. And there is also a bonus for fighters and tactical that is called proximity bonuses, and that means you get an accuracy bonus when you're close to your base and no bonus when you're far away. So base attack, base defense, but this one does mostly kill damage, so it has a little bit chance to do suppression. And a good chance of missing, because of course the attack rating isn't so good compared to the defense. So again we get the undefined result, and this is the infantry. Attack on the anti-tank gun, and here there is an initiative difference, and because the initiative difference is so big, the defender shoots first and all of his damage will be applied. But his strength has already been reduced to where is his strength? Yes, he's just strength 4 now, so there's not much to shoot back. And here you can see he had some suppression, but actually I managed to kill his suppressed strength points, so they are gone. So he has four points left, and those 4 points get to shoot. But of course he only has 1 attack, so the chance of actually doing damage is very small. So the end result is 0 killed, 0 suppressed, and then I strike him, and real result predicted, and we get the final result. So if you want more randomness, you can go put the randomness slider to 100, then you would always get the real result, what is rolled. But it gets really swingy, so I think 50% is a good compromise. So now I think you know how to use the log L. So I'm not going to talking too much about that anymore. So now I could either move this guy over here, or I could force march this guy also. See, there I got a bit lucky and I actually killed him. And you could see there was some suppression involved as well, but he just died. You can look at the combat results. He shoots first, but he's 0 killed, 0 suppressed. I actually do 4 killed, 2 suppressed, but I suppressed 2 of his strength points, but I also killed 4, and that's all he has left, so I killed all of them. Now you understand what I said about it's possible to both suppress and kill the same strength point. And that is not a bug, it is intentional, okay? Now I will move my artillery a bit forward, or should I don't want this running into my flank. And now you can see my tank, it has a speed of only 5, and yet I can move 6. This is because of the no. Okay, I remember incorrectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it was only 5 hexes. Okay, I was going to tell you how great the Master of Blitzkrieg trait was, and apparently I didn't take it, sorry. So I think I will start by strafing this guy a little bit, just to take his damage down, and now I got lucky, and then I could consider doing this. I have some other units that could reach him as well. But let's look at this guy now. I will move him around the flank here, and I get a double recon bonus. And it doesn't do a lot of damage, only a token amount of damage. And I will move this recon car over here. That is not as dangerous as it looks. And now we triggered an overrun attack, the first one, because that unit was greatly weakened. It could do no damage in return, and it was standing in the open, and I have a tank with the overrun trait. And you can now see I did not use my move action, and I did not use my attack action, but I have used up all my movement points, so I can't move any further, and there are no adjacent units. You might as well look at the strategic mode. Here you can also see which units have not attacked and which units have not moved. The green is movement and the red is attack, same as you can see here. Very handy. So, toggling strategic mode off. So we cleared out these guys. Now, of course, the recon car is a bit exposed because he has a 15 strength cavalry, and cavalry is pretty good. So therefore I move my artillery there. And you can now see, you can compare stats, remember, using the side panel here. And you can see that the cavalry has 7 hard attack versus 10 ground defense. So they won't be able to do a lot of damage, but they have 15 attacks at the moment. But with my artillery backing these guys up, I don't think he can attack. And now, look at how my recon plane is on top of the artillery. That is no mistake. It's not an escort fighter or anything, but it needs to be shut down before the Poles can actually bomb my artillery piece. And the AI likes to bomb artillery pieces because, as you can see, it only has 3 air defense. This has 6. This has 6, this has 6, this has 10, so it's much cooler to bomb your artillery. So by putting a plane on top of it, just a very cheap split recon plane, you can deny access to it. I don't know, it's not cheating, it's just the way it works. So I will then move this one here, and for the same reason I will place my artillery in this position. There is nothing on top of it, but this is a fighter, so it protects its own hex and all adjacent hexes down on the ground. So this one isn't protected, but it is an infantry unit, so it's not so weak. So then I will put my remaining tank just here in case something comes knocking. I hope it is understandable thus far. And we hit the end turn button. And here he comes. And here he comes. And here he comes. And you could see here that the AI moved forward to attack me. But in this case, of course, he ended up adjacent to my fighter. And he figured that his losses, he also has combat prediction, would be too high. And this guy, they only have 6 ground defense, so, and this guy has 12 soft attacks, so he could do a lot of damage to my poor pioneers, my combat engineers. They want to be in close terrain, remember? But I have this big gun here backing me up. It has 21 hard attack, so if he attacked here, it would fire in support. And this was why I told you I prefer the 15 centimeter gun to any of the other artillery pieces. This only has 14 hard attack and also no anti-tank support, so right now my pioneers would be maybe strength 11, and this would have taken a point or two of damage. Now he's just stopped. Same here. Cavalry doesn't want to get 18 soft attack in the face and then be rapid fire. All of these have rapid fire, remember? So this one basically has 20, I can't count, 19 and a half, so almost 20 strength. This one looks weak, but it attacks like a 9 strength unit, and it has a decent ground defense. And backed by this guy, no, it's just not happening. So by careful placement of supporting unit as part of my forward movement, I've created 2 combat groups, Kampfgruppe, that can act independently and protect the units that are part of them. So by doing this, I have now taken 1 strength point of damage. That is very little. I'm currently not playing on a high difficulty, but if I played on a higher difficulty, preserving my units like this would be very important, because preserving the units reduces the amount of prestige I have to spend on repairing them. So, and often it can be good to start by rebased aircraft. No, not happening at the moment. Start by thinking about how you want to use your airplanes. That's always a good thing to think about, and where you want them to end up. Now, I don't think the Poles have a ton of airplanes in this scenario, so I will send my plane around there. And the reason I moved it forward was in case I'm moving forward with my other units, and maybe it can cover some of them. And I have 2 choices basically. I can either help the little fighter take down this bomber, or I can knock this guy out of the fight. And the question here is, how much help does it need? If I start by doing this, and also move a recon plane on top of him, and shell him with my artillery, and then I can get pretty good result with just the tank. I'll move it there, so I'm as far forward as I can be, and there it's gone. And remember, this recon car has wheeled movement, so it's not so fast over clear terrain. It needs to use 2 movement points for every hex. Now I've stopped the enemy here, so now I have to think about how to set up a good defensive line. But first, I will talk about mass attack, and I will do this. And of course it matters which unit attacks first, not in this case, but sometimes you want your better fighter to shoot first, or use a weaker fighter to just soak up some of the enemy's strength and then send in your elite fighter. Rarely the last thing. Usually you want your best fighter to hit first, take a minimal amount of damage, and then have a weaker plane like this one clean up the mess. But look at this, it says mass attack times 2, and if I undo and if I put it just here, you can see the odds shifting, and it just says mass attack. So mass attack is a penalty to the defender's initiative when you surround him, when you have more than 1 unit that has a remaining attack action. Once you've used up your attack action, you don't count for mass attack. And mass attack works like this, but flanking is better. So if I put my other airplane closer to this guy, then I get less bonus. But if I put them here, here, or here, Then there is a 2 hexes of separation, or 1 hex between them, 1, 2, and then you get the full bonus. And there is also the base distance bonus, remember? So here I get the 1-5 prediction, here I get the 2-5. But let's put in here. And then I will shoot, and mass attack bonus applies. And it got lucky and hit me in return. I will look at the log. Combat range is 0, and here you can see mass attack times 2, so the defender's initiative is reduced, and basically I shoot all my shots first and do all my damage before he even has a chance to fire back. So this is the prediction, this is the result, this is the real result and prediction, so I could get in a little bit of a kill there. Now, see, I get no mass attack because this guy has already attacked, and the combat prediction as a result goes down a bit, so it's now just 1-4, it was 1-5. And also, when you think about combat prediction, you have to bear in mind that you can't kill more strength points than the enemy has left, so the combat prediction will have to take that into account as well. You can't roll better on the dice than the number of strength he actually has left. So if I attack a 10 strength bomber with with a plane, then there is a good chance I can utilize all my hits, but if I attack a weak enemy unit, there is a chance that some of my hits will be wasted, and then the combat prediction becomes slightly worse. Was that understandable? I hope it was. So I think we've covered a lot of interesting things here. Splitting, we have covered the use of recon, we have covered the use of artillery and defensive combat groups, planes a little bit, and also how to work your mass attack bonus system. So already we have covered quite a bit of ground here. So let's move back here. We have moved most of my planes. So unless the AI can repair this guy, he's practically neutered. So let's put the recon plane on top, fire, and then I can move him around. You see, he is now encircled, and that means that he can no longer receive supplies, so he cannot on the start of the turn get fuel or ammo back. He cannot recover any suppression or replenish his losses, and he will also get an accuracy penalty and an initiative penalty that grows larger with every turn. But this doesn't trigger immediately, it triggers on the next turn. And it is relatively slow going unless you have a special trait that's called Deadly Grasp. Then these penalties accumulate twice as fast, so then you can actually accomplish a lot by just a 1 turn or 2 turn encirclement. But of course here we will just kill him before the encirclement part kicks in. So here I get mass attack times 2. And I would like this one to do an overrun now. So I'll first move my recon car. I will move in 1 more step, because now I get mass attack times 2. Also because I want to attack this infantry afterwards. And now I move forward and I overrun. No, not quite. Okay, I anticipated an overrun, but my roll wasn't quite good enough, so it survived with 1 point and retreated. Okay, these things happen. Then I will move this guy over here and clear him out. And I will seize this objective. No, it's not an objective, it's a flag, so I get 50 prestige for that. I move my artillery forward, and you can see again where the stork is. It is not actually this forward. It's no accident. No, I don't want it there. I want to undo. Now, this is not so important right now because he has one plane and it is strength 0. Now I could use my trucks to move it. See, it will unload, but then you have to bear in mind, where can the AI go? Can he actually reach me if I put my artillery there? And I will move it, and then I will try to explain. The enemy must stop within your zone of control, and all units have a zone of control that's 1 hex around them. So this tank has a zone of control here. So if these poles want to move forward, they have to stop here, so they can't reach my artillery. He could go around, go here and here, but there is zone of control again from the infantry, so he has to stop here. And this guy, same. There is no way to pass through these 2 hexes because I have zone of control into both. So unless he has a recon car with phased movement that could go there and there, he cannot reach this tank at all. Which means it's safe to put it here. Did you understand that? Yes, I hope you did. And for some reason, I undid that so it can go forward. So now this artillery protects these 2, and this artillery protects these 3. And these guys are just hanging around down in the corner by themselves. Ah yes, I forgot to add one thing about encirclements. You get an accuracy penalty, and you also get an initiative penalty. I mentioned that, but you also accumulate some suppression that you also cannot get rid of as long as you're in the circle. And in addition, you cannot replenish supplies or ammunition. So even without Deadly Grasp, being encircled for more than a round turn, maybe 2, then it starts to get really, really dangerous, and it becomes very hard to recover from. Okay, it's time to end this turn. And now the plane can come back, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now this recon car, which is split, it can come down here, capture this flag, move forward, and here we see an anti-tank gun. And we don't want to move over and attack it because it is specially made to kill hard targets. So we will just mount up and drive over, and it automatically dismounts. It can't attack, but it is dismounted. And now I can see my enemies, but we can fix that by using this plane. Now I can see that. It's not much to think about. I could see could have moved my recon first before taking that shot. We can undo it just for demo purposes, and we move over. And then we move forward, and I don't get a recon bonus from the plane, of course, but if you look at the log now, you can see bonus from recons and recon planes, +6. Okay. +6. Maybe it's tied to the actual strength points of the unit, so it's okay, I get it. That was clever. I never noticed that before. Maybe that has changed. I never used splitting that much, because if you don't use the flexible command trait, which I rarely take because it's honestly not that good, then you're not using splitting, because normally splitting a unit costs you 1 slot. So, okay. Now I've learned something new. And I will use my other fighter to just bomb here. And I will use this guy to have a look at this area. Okay, we have a small TKS tank The infantry hiding there, anti-tank, artillery, and Polish infantry here. So I want to move forward. I will use this opportunity to get the well, no mass attack bonus for some reason. I'm not sure I understand why. And again, this looks dangerous, but there is no way to get to this artillery. Then you must get to this hex, which you can't. And there he comes. He takes the chance, but he is severely punished. And now you can look. This tank stuck its head out, didn't have any artillery support, and suddenly the AI was willing to attack with both this little tank here and this infantry. It took a lot of damage, but he was willing to attack, and I lost 2 strength points. And it also shows just how useful overstrength is, because now this one started at strength 13 and has rapid fire, so it fires like a 20 strength unit. So it costs this little tank a lot more to attack it than it would if it was strength 10. And then it was better equipped to handle this infantry when it arrived. And this one was also willing to attack the infantry in the open, but it paid a heavy price. Okay. Now, we can look at this unit here. And it has 7 entrenchment. And that, of course, sounds pretty harsh. But we will get the 6-point accuracy bonus first. Start by that. And I will get my 7 points here. And now you see, first of all, it has very low soft attack, just 1, I think. Yes, just 1. And I have, this is close terrain, and I have infantry, so I'm attacking his close defense, which is 0. And I have engineers, so he's ignoring his entrenchment, which is why I get super good odds on this attack. And he got lucky and did 1 point of damage. That stuff happens. Now you can look at the log. Now, he does actually get an initiative bonus for his entrenchment. But on the other hand, the terrain cap is 1, and I ignore the initiative penalty for entrenchment, so I keep my full 4. And he just keeps 1. Alright, now that's because I'm infantry and he's not infantry. Okay. Sorry, there are subtleties in this game that I haven't fully explored yet, but that's the case. So, but this was also a good example, because here the difference is 3, so that's 60%. So once you hit +5, I think, then 100%. 2 seconds. Yes, and here you can see attacker has access to close defense rating and the actual results. I could maybe attack him with my little recon guy, and if they split, I couldn't fully dislodge him. I can move forward and capture this airfield, and now he's Also encircled, of course, because encirclement happens from the units themselves, but also from their zones of control. So let's clear out this little tank. I will. I'll fly over here. Now we can do an overrun, please. Yes. There I rolled good enough for overrun, and then I go shoot at this guy as well. And he tried to flee. And I'm bringing up my forces a bit there. And it's no rush. I can take this city on the next round. No, it was tough enough actually that I didn't get an overrun. Okay. And enter. So now it comes out to play. Because I have no artillery backing. You can see the AI is always considering the odds here. If I had put my recon card back here and put my artillery here, even assuming he could reach me, he would not do it because the cavalry could see my artillery, so he would calculate the odds as too bad. On the other hand, I managed to get him forward where he lost all his entrenchment. But he was just standing there in the field anyway, so... yes, this unit has slightly less entrenchment now. It won't help it because, well, my engineer just ignores entrenchment. So, capture. So, can my... This one has a longer range, this has a 15 range. But before I go there, I'm going to send one of my spotter planes forward to have a look, yes. And I'd like him to bomb, and there he has hidden a little tank there. Very clever of him. And now I hit rebase, and then I can... And I will have a look over here. See, it's a 1-strength plane. Yes, I agree, cheating is not so fun. I don't see the point. I mean, you can always beat the game anyway, so cheating has no real meaning. Well, if you're testing something in particular, then maybe just overrun this guy. And now we must watch out for this guy because it's an anti-tank and it probably will come rushing out to shoot my poor tanks if I let it. And it has a native speed of 2 because it's a little one. Okay, but it's bad enough it has 14 hard attack, better than most tanks. So let's rush over here. And it goes into the forest. But my infantry are very good at clearing out stuff from forests. So this is close defense. Close defense. And in this case, the defender couldn't even shoot back because it was all suppressed. Oh, close. Yes. So now, did any of my guys not attack this one? Yes. Then I will move forward and start to weaken this guy a bit. I'll move my artillery up. And I move my artillery here. This is normally a bit risky to be parked on a bridge like that, but with my guy in the back there backing up, I think I'm good. Just make this more secure in case it feels like coming out to play. Now my next step here is trying to showcase a real case of encirclement. First we're going to drive over here. Put him there. Back him up with the artillery piece. And now there is not so much the I can do really. And it's time, I think, to... Yes, this is a bit waxing when the AI randomly places your planes further away, so last round I could bomb him, but this round I can't, so I will rebase him. I'm not entirely sure why it works like that. And I will combine them, just to show you that. That didn't work as intended. I should with this trait. Well, then I'll just rebase them both. Might as well. Like I said, I haven't done splitting much, so it's virgin territory, but I thought I might show you an example. It's time to clear out this guy. And set up a perimeter here. If he tries to attack out of the city against this Panzer 2C, that's just great. But this one hasn't acted yet, so I could either hurt this tank a bit or hurt this artillery even more. Now it comes out, and now you can again see I kill one and suppress four. So the end result, his tank is much better than mine really. Well, not much better, but it is fairly good. Okay, I overestimated it. But it did minimal damage to me, even when full strength. That was my point. So now I can just start to clean up this mess. I do this to try to get an overrun attack. Which I did. 1 overrun, 2 overruns. And now I will demonstrate one of my favorite abilities, and it's called primitive control, because if you see here, I have to move around his zone of control. I can't go straight forward. But now, when I have a unit in this hex, I can. And this one is now encircled. And I will move him up to close the gap again. So now, my third overrun for this round. And 4 kills with just 1 tank, and this is a slightly damaged Panzer 2C, so I think you can see that with good play and a little bit of planning, and when you start putting over strength and experience and heroes on this, it can become really, really powerful. Now I will just shoot at this guy, and you can see that he has currently 3 suppression because I already shot him. And I got 2 more suppression, so now it's 5. He still has 5 of 10 entrenchment, and I cannot take him below 4 because of the town has a minimum entrenchment of 4. So there's not much more to do. I could start reinforcing some of my units mid-game here, but you can see there is no point. I have full control here, and that's just waste of prestige. Okay, so I will again hit the turn button, and now we will start by looking at the encircled unit. It had some suppression from last round, and now it has gained even more suppression. So if I shoot it again, I will put this plane on top of it. I shoot it again, and now it suddenly has 10 suppression and it only has 12 strength, so yes, you do the math. And now I can move this guy over here and attack. And now you will see that he surrenders, because I kill so much of his unsuppressed strength that he has to pull back, but he has nowhere to go. I have him surrounded and he cannot retreat into any of these rivers. And then we just move forward. We got a bit of help there from encirclement, and we can look at the game stats. So I keep my initiative because I'm infantry attacking in close terrain. There is a massed attack penalty to his, and he gets the bonus from entrench, but effectively that's 0. So I do 80% of my damage before he can shoot back. Even if he wasn't completely suppressed, this almost completely suppressed, this would have been a one-sided fight. And some recon bonuses. I have now understood that this is the total strength points of those recons. And we have used close defense, of course, and 7 killed, 6 killed, 6 suppressed. And they shoot back and 0-0. Pretty good. So now I can start working on this guy. I have 8 of 15 turns left, so I could quickly move up here and take these 2 flags, but there is just one single infantry unit and a 1-strength bomber that he cannot repair because he has no prestige. So I'm not going to show that in this playthrough. It has no relevance. But what we can talk about before we finish is the fact that this is a supply hex. So this trick I had with the encirclement, that's not possible. You can see this. I have zone of control here, and here, and here, and this is a major river, so you cannot trace supply through it. So this unit is really encircled, but it has a supply hex symbol here, so it can never be surrounded. So you have to clear this one out with recon bonuses and just use artillery and your engineering support. Okay. Let's quickly finish this. Going to check my theory. Yes, you get 11% because it is 11 strength. Okay, never noticed before. And now you can see if I select this one, it gets recon bonus, mass attack bonus, and engineer bonus. So the stats become pretty good. And this one is standing on a river, which is normally dangerous, but as long as there is a town or village or something there, that penalty is ignored. And always use infantry to back up your infantry like this. Might as well do this. Maximum bonus, and because he has a supply box, he can get rid of suppression between turns. But now he has 6 suppressions of 12 remaining strength. Those odds should be getting better. He has now it is 1 to 8, so this is also 1 to 8, and he retreats. Now this is important. If you want to continue playing now, you must not have any units stop in this hex, because then it's game over and the game immediately ends when the last victory hex is seized. But you can do this. Yes, we didn't need that extra movement. Might as well. And now we can start the bombardment process. Aren't great yet. This is also supply hex, so there is no way to make it encircled. And this hex I cannot access because this is a major river, so I have to move along the road. But now the odds should be much better. 1-3. This is of course better. Pioneers. And now I've taken all the flags, and now I can just walk in and take the last objective. And after this you get a nice little summary like this. And you can replay the mission, you can change the difficulty for the next battle, and you can do what is review battlefield. And here you can see if anyone has stars, heroes, medals, and this is points killed or lost. And you have what's called a kill-loss ratio. And actually, for once, the common infantry was the winner. So, thanks for watching.